Yeah, and also think what's important about Betty Page is, there was this idea that these models were exploited. I mean, Irving Klaw is an interesting character in himself, and someday I'm hoping that somebody makes a really great movie about Klaw and that whole scene. What's one of the things that's interesting about all of that is because I grew up in New York City in the 1960s, his shop was still operational when I was a kid, and wow. I used to walk up and down 14th Street where he had his movie. He sold movie posters and movie stills, and he also sold. He had a magazine. I can't remember the name of it, that was dedicated to like basically republishing these movie stills. And the way he got into the pinup stuff was that people would come into his store and they would rip pages out of the magazines instead of buying them. And he realized there was a market just for the still pictures. And so he had a dark room above the store, and he started, printing pictures, movie stills. And then somehow that, I don't know the exact genesis, maybe you know a little more. Somehow that led into the whole bondage scene, which was, I don't think Betty Page herself was really into bondage, but she just was exploiting a market that was untapped, which was people wanted pictures of women tied up or tying each other up or doing all kinds of stuff, simulating. I don't think she was actually engaged in the bondage. I think she just saw it as a market, and she was open to it, which is actually kind of incredible that a woman in the 1940s and 1950s would kind of say, hey, I can take advantage of this. So she was not exploited. Even though she wasn't necessarily into that stuff, she was doing it because it addressed a market that she was open to.
Yeah, she was, I think who knows what the real story is, and unfortunately she's passed away. But I know at one point she kind of found religion and really, turned her back on that. Her image was such an iconic image, and a lot of people would throw it on T-shirts and other places. And so I do think she was exploited in the sense that, a lot of people made money off of her image, and she never saw a dime for it. Later on, very late in life, I think actually Hugh Hefner came back into her life. Somebody connected her with Hugh Hefner, and he helped her with doing some legal work with wrangling some of the copyright stuff back and actually seeing some money from it.